Welcome back, everybody. Oh,
Welcome.
I forgot that wasn't on my ear. um, so we're going into round 3 of Swiss. When we got Element Roshiendo and Hokai or Hakai. I'm not sure if it's A on the second one, but Hakai.
Nice.
And these guys are fighting to get out of groups. So whoever wins this is going to get third place, and they're going to be able to fight to get to the finals.
That's awesome. So this is going to be a really exciting set for us to watch. And we have a really good map list here, too, so it'll be really fun.
Yep, so the first one we're going to have is Humpback, on, like Splat Zone's on Humpback, and then we're going to go into Mako Rainmaker. Following that, we got Triggerfish, Tower Control, Snapper Clam Blitz, and then the classic Walleye Splat Zones.
Very nice. It'll be really fun. How about that Camp Triggerfish Tower Control map? What do you think? I mean, ever since Snapper Canal came out, and you saw that tower path that's over the water, now we have double the amount of time that you're over the water for Triggerfish?
Well, it's more and less, because the way it used to be, it was like pretty much after it got off mid, it was over the water until pretty much the end. Whereas now it's like it's got one checkpoint, I think, that's like almost over the water, but it has a lot of like land around it. I think basically it's a lot of the problems with the mode was that it was too easy to kill people on tower and no way to like get back on, so it was hard to keep pushes going. And the new version of Triggerfish actually solves a lot of those problems, and I think it's actually one of the better tower controls now.
Interesting.
So I definitely like seeing it around.
Cool. I haven't played it on Tower Control yet. Tower Control is my least favorite mode, so I try to stay away.
It's my second favorite, which
Really?
I know I'm on the minority on that one, but I definitely like how Triggerfish or Tower Control plays. My one problem with Tower Control is there's too many specials, but I feel that way with every mode, so
Yeah.
it's just especially bad in Tower Control.
For sure. What's your favorite mode then?
Favorite mode?
I'm like, please say Clam Blitz, please say Clam Blitz, please say Clam Blitz.
It's one of those things where it would be Clam Blitz if they fix the the two-ish problems that I have with it.
Which are?
Which is the super jumping with a power clam. I think
Okay.
that should drop it, you know, like it does with Baller. And then when Baller explodes, like it should drop it even if it doesn't explode. Like if you pop it and it doesn't explode, like they shouldn't be able to get the free throw if they get punished for having Baller on.
Yeah.
You know, those things. And then if they fix a few of the spawns, those are like my other main problem with it.
For sure.
But, you know, it like in very nice close up of Milana right there. But yeah, I think the mode definitely has a lot of potential for growth going forward in the scene, especially if the competitive scene starts pushing it a little more. Because if we start pushing the meta of the mode, it'll definitely perform a lot better too. So yeah, I definitely see a lot of potential in it, and I like
sure.
it a lot in competitive. It's a nightmare in solo queue though.
Yeah.
It's not the worst. I still think Rainmaker's worse in solo, but
Rainmaker in solo queue is terrible.
yeah, it's a nightmare.
It's really bad. I was saying this to you earlier that I've just broken out of B rank in solo queue, and Rainmaker I just refuse to play.
Yeah.
I just don't want to do it. So Tower Control, even though it's my least favorite, was my first A- rank.
I've actually been playing a lot more Rainmaker lately because I've figured out that I like using splash balls on Rainmaker. Like I've been playing the new 96 a ton on Rainmaker and having a lot of fun with it. Just because like it's very easy to solo shut down pushes without getting just like bombarded by a million things. So I definitely like it a lot more just because of how good 96 is now. But that's just me as an individual. It's still kind of a nightmare for having good or bad teammates. And even if you got good teammates, like there's no coordination, so people can just run into your base. But yeah.
It's the most frustrating thing, especially because it's one of the modes that you can just have one good player who picks up the Rainmaker and they're able to push it solo. And if your team is not paying attention or they're too clustered together, they're not spread out enough, they're not covering those little areas where you can sneak past, it's over.
Yeah. Yep.
Definitely really frustrating.
Although we do have in this set, it's going to be Mako Rainmaker, which actually doesn't have a lot of the problems that Rainmaker has. Like there is a quick push, but it's like right in front of their spawn, so it's hard to do without, you know, getting picked off and getting slowed down. There is the safer push around the side, but it takes a lot longer, so it's easier for them. Like they can set up against it, so it's got more dynamics to it, and doesn't have like a lot of the downside that Rainmaker can have. So, you know, I definitely, it's one of my favorite Rainmaker modes.
Yeah, I think
maps.
that map is one of my favorites in general. I love it. I love the design of it. I think that it's really nice that it's kind of linear, but it still has a couple of different areas where you can sneak around and have some fun plays. I specifically like it in Splat zones, and I think it's one of my favorite Clan Blitz modes, because Black Belly is my favorite Clan Blitz.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a fun map. There's a lot going on there. I agree with you that it's a better Rainmaker map for sure.
Yeah, I really like it in Rainmaker. I really like it in zones. Not so much on, like, it's too easy to score on Clan Blitz for me. And then tower control is just, I don't know. I can't figure that mode out for some reason on that map.
No way.
Yeah. So it looks like we got everybody into the lobby now. So hopefully we'll start this up pretty quick here.
Nice.
Everybody's getting their mindset ready to go.
Yeah, it was fun. I just played, and I got to play against Element Roshiendo, so that was kind of fun. They totally destroyed us, complete shutout, but, you know, it was good games. You can definitely see from where we saw them in the first round, they've warmed up, they're ready to go, they're coordinating really well. You can hear when I was playing against them, their call-outs were great, so I'm really excited to see how this comes together.
Yep. And Kakai just got off of a really tough set against Top Minds, I believe, and they went 1-3, but they almost won Game 4 and took it to a Game 5. It was actually really close. We were trying to get it on stream, but they ended the game a little too early. But yeah, so yeah, going into the game now, people are looking at their gear. Oh, I almost like kind of want to see that front view again, just so I can see like what people's gear are. But because you can, like, with just the nature of it, I can see what they're trying to use. But yeah, so this is Humpback Zones for the first one. We were talking so much about Mako. I was like in the Mako mentality. Humpback Zones, I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe some rollers, definitely a blaster. This
Slosher too.
Yeah, Slosher's really good on this. I also really, really, really love Dynamo on it right now.
Yes.
Like, Dynamo's very situational, but I think it's actually pretty good now on some specific maps and mode combos. So I kind of cross my fingers that one of these players is maybe a Dynamo player, and we're going to see that. But
I would love that. Dynamo is probably one of the weapons I like watching the most. It's one of those things that's like instant crush for me. Like, oh my gosh, they're a good Dynamo. I'm in. I'm down.
Well,
I love it.
What I like about, at least from a, like, playing it perspective, is like I didn't really like it that much in Splat 1 because it was like very, like, all it did was paint and it didn't really do much else. But in Splat 2, like, it has more flexibility because it can't just paint. Like, it can paint okay, but it doesn't paint like amazingly well. But you know, it's fun to play because it's so different than everything else.
Yeah. It's a really interesting loadout. This is actually the same thing that Element Roshiendo has been playing the entire day. Beautiful double there. Lovely.
It's huge collateral there. That was looking really grim for Roshiendo there, and they Fusion basically solidified them getting the zone here and just completely turned that around.
100%. We were sitting there cursing Fusion while we were playing them. Definitely a great player, getting lots of picks, lots of kills, knows what they're doing, and has a great time doing it, and you can see.
Well, I mean, even in like the first set we watched of these guys, which was against Top Minds, like Fusion was making actually some really sick plays. They were just not able to get like the pushes going. So seeing that out of him now is definitely a good thing to see. And if they're able to keep this going, this is actually going to look really good for them.
Yeah, 100%. And it looks like so far they're able to maintain zone. It looks like building those specials, they're trying to coordinate. Unfortunately, they do get a bit of a penalty, but they take it back really quickly.
They'll take that all day if they get control of the zone again. Future does get a nice 1v1 there that's going to kind of keep them in this, but, you know, Element Roshiendo, they're looking to exterminate him now.
100%. And, you know, Kakai, we said? Is that how we said?
Yeah,
Kakai. Definitely trying to come in strong. They're waiting. They're working on these pushes. I'm not totally sure what this...
That was a good trade there, honestly, because they got the zone from on the other side of the map. They clean up Sigrex there. Is it Sigrex or Sigrex or Sigrex?
I've been saying Sigrex, but I'm not totally sure. We'll have to ask him after
I should know this by now because we've been to like a lot of our lands, but you know, my bad. Anyway, going into it, Zero inkjetting in as they're trying to push out. Gets cleaned up, and this is looking pretty good for Element Roshiendo. Maybe out of the fresh penalty here. Yep, they do that, get control of zone, and see if they can clean up this last person to get full control.
Even those bubbles coming in, they don't do a whole lot, and probably not as much. Future going down there, even the bombs coming in, not really what they want. Having that rain is going to help protect the zone a little bit and do what they want. I'm kind of wondering, actually, about the comp that they're running on the side of Kakai. And, you know, what they're thinking. They don't really have enough weapons that can paint, and I think that that's the biggest problem here in zones.
Well, Hakai's got all painting weapons because they're the yellow team.
Yeah.
Well, Pro, but they also have 2 slider shots and an end zap. Like, that's very good paint, but the problem is this is one of the best maps for indirect damage, and they don't have blasters to slay.
Sure.
So I think that's where they're actually struggling right now. They actually do have a fairly decent amount of paint. Like, their specials aren't very good for painting, but the weapons themselves are pretty good at it. So it's definitely a comp problem for Kakai right now, I think.
I guess I don't really look at it as painting like that, but I do see what you mean. And yeah, you're right. It's going through, and it looks like they're very close to taking the lead here, just 5 points away. Something that can happen. Those bubbles coming in is going to help, and they did take the lead.
Yeah, they got control, and they held on long enough to get the lead here, but it looks like Element Roshiendo is going to be able to take this back, maybe if they paint the zone. Not quite. Secrets Ninja wins this.
If they can cap it pretty quickly, nice. They put a really good penalty on. They do have enough time to break their own penalty down and take the lead back. So they need to be able to maintain mid and stay really close to that. They are pushing forward a little bit. They're spreading out really nice, trying to create nice defense and work towards offense.
Yeah, it seems like Roshiendo there didn't really know how they wanted to hold it. They do have a lot of time going. If they don't get a penalty here, it's going to look good for them, but they split up a little too much, so...
Nice.
Ooh, they do keep the zone. Cigarettes cleans it up, but they only need to hold for 3 more seconds.
Oh, that's a 3-down situation.
Oh, they were at 18.
Gosh, that was so close. They totally could have done it. If they were able to just hold on for 1 more second, that would have been it.
Not even a second, like a quarter of a second, just to get, that was so close. That was like a frame away from them taking the lead there.
Nice work. That was Zero who cleaned them up, going for a nice triple, and then able to take another 2 down.
Yeah, now it's looking pretty scary. They don't have a lot of time to really get a true take back right now. They only got 36 seconds, but even if they can't get the penalty, if they can't get a penalty, Kakai is going to have a really good chance of getting their lead even further.
100%. Definitely, Roshiendo needs to be able to put that penalty on them and then maintain zone for a whole 38 points, which is going to be really difficult to do. Yeah,
really unfortunate death there from Gonza Moana, and that's going to be a 2v1 situation there. Kakai, wow, that was, I don't even know how to follow that anymore.
I was not sure what happened there, but really nice job. Able to take over the zone. Moana coming in and painting over on the lower left. Definitely playing some defense. They are in overtime. If they can hold this.
Oh, no. Too many people dying. They split up so much. They didn't push in hard enough when they got control, and they weren't able to stop the surround. And they kept, they all just split their focus. And, oh, man, that was a really, that could have been a really good ending for them, maybe taking that overtime, but they just didn't quite set up correctly. And they'd made that error in the time before that, but it was still really close. So I think, if Roshiendo had slightly better holding, a slightly better strat for, using their holds, they would have won that game.
Yeah, 100%.
They had a much, much better comp.
But it sets us up really well to see what happens with these next couple of games.
Yep.
I'm really excited to see, as we were talking about Makomar, Rainmaker, we know that they absolutely love Clan Blitz, so maybe this will get us to a game 4 because I'd love to see that Clan Blitz happen. But there's a lot of things that they can do here. I mean, it was so close, 82 to 81. Definitely something that, as commentators and spectators of Splatoon, that's the most fun to watch.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like Roshiendo really, really needs to take this game now because based on what we saw before, their tower control looked pretty weak, especially against the, especially against Top Mines in that first set. So I really don't think they're going to have a great time on Triggerfish. So I think they really need to take this Mako mark to force a game 4 for them to have a real chance. So we'll see how they play it out. But yeah, going into it, they really need to focus on making this game, this is the game they need to take.
I completely agree. I think that once they're able to take Rainmaker, they can bring it into that game 4. They have a great opportunity to push forward and keep going. And, like you said, this is going to be for 3rd place. So for the third
team to get out of groups.
Yes. Not 3rd place, sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you think is going to change as far as comps? Do you think that Kakai is going to realize their mistake and...
They might not. I mean, that might be coming down to the fact that they just don't have blaster players. That could be a thing. I don't really know the players super well, so I mean, I know Future likes Pro, and that's all he plays. Oh, he does play some Rapid, so they are actually going to add a Rapid into that. That does round that comp out a lot nicer, and I like to see that. So, just based on that last thing, this is going to give them a much better card.
Definitely. And it
Moana
looks like
running the opening gambit there.
Yeah. very nice. And they are able to pop Rainmaker, but they're not able to pick it up yet. And green is coming in, really taking over. That's a full wipe for Roshiendo.
They are going to go with the safer route here in order to push in. This is going to give them a nice big push early on. Future not able to clean up Milana, but she does get cleaned up by Zero.
And they're still going, though. They still have that. Zero does take someone down there, lose the Rainmaker. Okay, very nice. They're able to finally get them out and end that push. Oh, but they don't.
Gon's got in there, able to continue that push a little bit further, down to 19. That's not unwinnable on this map mode, but it's definitely putting the pressure on Roshiendo right now. They definitely got to be a little worried now.
100%. They need to be making this push with a little bit more coordinated. It looks like some of the team members are there, but they're not exactly kind of defending as much as they might want to be.
Yeah.
Those bombs coming in, I mean, they're also going for the safer route off to the left-hand side.
Oh, the bubble's opening this up. This might be good right here. Yeah, they clean up the inkjet. This is going to be really good for them.
Very nice.
Oh, the 10 attack from above. They didn't quite watch that angle. They did get it down to 32, but they don't have the teammates to follow up on that push, and that's going to be a hold there from Kakai.
It was a really great push, though. They were able to get pretty close. If they could have just bumped it a little further, they would have been able to take the lead there. Those points are really close together at that one section there. Getting from 32 to 19 is not very unheard of.
Yeah, I think really what that came down to is I think the bubbles weren't used perfectly optimally right there. Like, if they were able to use the bubbles as protection for the Rainmaker as it was pushing through, I think they definitely would have got the lead.
I agree with you there. The bubbles did help them to what they were going for, but not exactly what they wanted. Future getting taken out, getting one extra point there, a little bit closer.
All that effort for 1 point.
Yeah, and not able to use that inkjet exactly as optimally as they may have wanted to.
Yep, so Seagreck's going to try and push back out here with the Rainmaker. Doesn't really have the support. Okay, that teammate does jump out, or the enemy does jump out. Oh, can't believe that Rapid didn't quite pick him up. But if they clean up the Rapid here, this might open them up to start another one of the left pushes here.
I think this, to me, would be the prime opportunity to go to the right. There are not a lot of the teammates over on the right-hand side. It's a little bit faster. You know, if they could have gotten away from Pro right there, they could have been able to get that point a little faster.
Yeah, that was just a bit too much split focus. They weren't able to control anything, and Kakai was able to cause enough chaos to surround them.
Definitely. Milana picking up the Rainmaker goes down really quickly, unfortunately. But it looks like Roshiendo's right there trying to, if they can stay alive and pop the bubble, let some teammates come and jump in, that might be helpful for them.
Yep. So, yep, now that's in very much map control here for Kakai. The Rainmaker's not in the best position for them to push up, but they're okay with not pushing right now, honestly. Oh, yeah. Gons does sneak it away, but he's getting chased by 3 people at the same time. Does take one out as it goes, which is about as much as you can hope for in a situation like that, and that was really good for them.
100%, and it looks like Future's coming here just defending. I mean, if they can just pick it up and hold, that's really all that they need right now. 1 minute and 30 seconds left is a decent amount of time to kind of hold, push forward a little bit, but not really what they need to be doing.
Yeah, so looking at it right now, what do you think Roshiendo really needs to do to kind of like turn this around for them? It seems like they just are kind of all over the place right now.
I think they need to coordinate a little bit better. They need to be kind of coming up and saving their specials to try to make this actual push happen together. Like right there, unfortunately, Seagreck's going down while having a special, not really ideal.
Yeah, they just misplayed that 2v1 right there. Like they had 2 people ready to go kill that person. If you know, Seagreck's was like just trusted Fusion a little more to clean that guy up, they probably would have gotten that for free, but they ended up getting a trade.
Yeah, even right here, you see the bubbles come out, and they're not really doing anything.
They just don't have a teammate around to support it.
Right.
They do clean up Future, though, in the end, and if they can get some map control, this might... That was 3 down, actually. This is an opening for a push here.
And this is where, right there, Milana had a perfect opportunity to go straight, but she decided to go to the left, which is the safer route.
I actually agree with that in that scenario, because they would have spawned in time in order to stop that. They just didn't really get the map control ready to go so that she could get into that upper area quick enough. Right. So it was the right call. I think it was just a slightly not played correctly, like just not executed correctly.
Understandable. I guess I think that if she was able to move fast enough, she could have gotten there really quick. But
oh, another wipe here. This is going to put the pressure on them. Future's in the perfect spot to stop this, though. They're all jumping in. If they can't kill Future here, this is going to be a checkmate. Oh, these bubbles are perfect.
Perfect.
Oh, Future doesn't die.
Oh my gosh, Pro goes down, but Future's still alive, coming in, and they only need a few points. Milana just needs to keep staying.
Oh man, was that Gons? Yeah, yeah, it looked like Zero or Gons. One of those two. They just barely snuck through and cleaned up the Rainmaker there. That was actually looking really, really scary for Kakai right there.
It was. It was. It definitely could have been an opportunity. Even still, you know, going into overtime, I think these teams are pretty evenly matched up. I think if we had a little bit more...
Zero with the 21 bomb.
Oh my gosh.
And Seagrix with a 20 bomb. Wow, there was a lot of dying that game.
There certainly was. It was a little bit of a bloodbath, especially in mid in those few sections there. But I think if they just can organize some of their specials, maybe a little bit more communication. I don't know if it's nerves that's kind of getting to them a little bit.
I mean, it seems like the same problem they were having before, where like, you know, they're getting these opportunities that it's just the execution that's the problem right there, and that's just a matter of practice. So it's like they've got all the makings to do what they need to do. They're just not quite executing properly. So maybe they can, like, you know, sit down, talk for a second here and turn that around, but it's going to be tough.
Yeah, 100%. And, you know, you had mentioned tower control. I wonder if because of the way this map is laid out and the direction which the tower takes, it might be a little bit of a different situation than what we first saw. You know, we'd both love to see Game 4, I'm sure, but it would be really nice if they can kind of come together and figure out where their execution is failing so that they can turn this around.
Yeah. I mean, they were running Double Blaster there?
Double Blaster,
yeah.
Yep.
So they were running Double Blaster, which is obviously good for tower control. So maybe just from comp alone, they'll succeed a little better here, especially if Kakai doesn't think to go that rapid again, because if, you know, Future's not on that rapid, they don't really have any indirect damage to kill towers. So
100%.
You know, they definitely have a chance here, more so than the other tower control they played. But yeah, it's definitely I'm gonna favor, like, if I was gonna bet on this, I would bet Kakai, but I could see Roshiendo turning around.
No, I completely agree. I think, you know, definitely Kakai has a little bit more strength in what they've been doing so far, but it could happen. Ooh.
Oh, so they go a Charger, no Blaster, and Element Roshiendo, they're going a Rapid and a Heavy. So just from comp alone, unless Future's a god at Charger and I don't know about it, which I wouldn't know, but he might be good.
I know he said he enjoys playing them.
Well, Sammy also enjoys Charger, but he's horrible at it. So so I don't really trust that. But, you know, just comp alone, Element's got a good chance here, but they do lose that opening fight.
Ooh.
Future jumps off, and that's not so good for them. But that is going to open up Element to push out here.
Definitely, and it looks like they're gaining a little bit of map control over on the left there with Fusion. Milana coming in on the right-hand side. Perfect opportunity to take the tower. The entirety of Kakai is not in a position to stop her right now. So she
didn't know that, though, so
yeah.
she backed off. That was one of those things where, like, we can see how that would have worked out for her, but, like, she couldn't tell, so... You know, they hesitated a little too much.
Yeah, and it's not like her teammates were in a position to be able to call that out either.
Yeah.
So you have to play it safe at that point, and you have to be able to kind of make sure that you're staying alive. Dueling Stingrays, always love to see this.
Oh, Future makes the mistake of keeping his stream going when he didn't know where the enemy team was, and does get cleaned up there. But Milana loses the fight, and now Pro's going to be able to keep his tower going.
Yeah, and they're past the first checkpoint. A bunch of teammates jumping in. It looks like, unfortunately, Gons does go down into the water there. Roshiendo on the tower, trying to push it back to mid, and it's a full team wipe on the side of Kakai.
Yeah, Roshiendo actually did a really good job of shutting that down right there. They did it. They got a perfect surround on the tower. Roshiendo was in perfect position to clean up anybody on tower, and now they got this push going here. And this is actually the worst position for. Yeah. This Inkjet here is a really good. Oh, the Charger does clean them up. Didn't clean up that person in time in order to challenge that Charger, and now that's going to shut down that push.
100%. The Stingray coming out, not as helpful as it could be for them, but even still, you know, Roshiendo is able to kind of stay on and continue working towards that push. Looks like Milana's hoping to get on the tower, but then trying to clean up Gons first. He takes him out. He takes her out, so that doesn't help, and Seagrix is the only one alive at the moment.
I wonder how much practice Roshiendo's, like the team Roshiendo, has on this map, because it seems like they're constantly getting surprised of where Kakai is coming from for them.
Yeah.
Like they'll be in a good position, but they won't realize it, and then like forget that like somebody can come from a direction they're not thinking of, and it seems like it's really punishing them hard right now.
Definitely. And it looks like the Stingray is going to try to defend tower a little bit, but they don't really know where any of the teammates are. Again, that kind of like map awareness is causing them to suffer a little bit.
Yeah, a bit of a wasted Stingray there too. The only one alive there for a second there was actually the Charger, but they didn't know where he was and they weren't able to clean him up. So now that is 2 down there. This might be something here if they can clean up Future. Oh, nice shot.
Beautiful.
That
so
was
I guess he can play Charger.
It seems like he can at least somewhat play Charger. But yeah, Future doing a good job of slowing that push down. It is a 4v2 again. They're out. It seems like they're outslaying them really hard. They're just not able to get these pushes going.
Yeah, and I think that could completely be, like you said, like map awareness, not really knowing where things are going on the map and how they're coming together.
Yeah. I'm not sure I really agree with that bomb rush, but it does make sense from Milana's perspective because she didn't have teammates to support her right there. So she was using that as protection, but I feel like holding on to that a little longer might have helped them out.
Definitely.
Yeah, and the teammates didn't push up ahead of her either, so that was a dead push waiting to happen.
But they were able to make... Oh, Fusion
No,
right in the
Fusion!
water.
2 dose! 2 dose!
Oh, man. That sucks so bad. But that was a really great way to get through that first checkpoint. So at least that they're there, and they don't even need to break past that second checkpoint in order to take the lead. So if Milana can stay alive and make it past...
Not quite. Yeah, it's consistent with, like, they're pushing the tower, like, first, and not teammates ahead of that. And it's really, really hurting them right now. But I just want to shout out that little picture-in-picture we had of the team. That was actually really cool. I like seeing that kind of stuff.
I love seeing that.
Production value.
100%. We have a great production happening by Gen Game TV.
Thank you, Trevor. Anyway, so that's a full wipe there for Kakai. Going to be able to extend their lead here. They get through the second checkpoint, which is actually probably the hardest one to get through. So this is actually looking really, really, really scary for Roshiendo.
And it looks like Roshiendo is kind of concentrating themselves together there, which is a little bit dangerous at this point, especially because, as you mentioned, they might not exactly know where the other players can be coming from. Right now, the tower resetting is not really going to help them. Milana able to get on. If she can maintain this, they do have an opportunity, but she has to be really careful.
Gons, I was going to shout that out, but Gons, like, just sharked until the entirety of Roshiendo pushed past him and did the classic trigger fish flank and just killed everybody and basically solidified that on his own.
Yep.
So
100%.
really nice play from Gons right there.
Yeah, look at that kill count.
Yeah, another big score or kill count from Zero right there. Definitely the main slayer of the team, doing really, really well. Solidifying that 3-0, and I believe that confirms that they are out of groups.
I think so.
If there's not some weird tie scenario happening that I didn't know about. In the final bracket. So in the final bracket, they're going to be playing at Here Scrim DM. And I assume that means Top Minds will be waiting in the grand finals for whoever wins that match.
Makes sense.
Oh, so they're playing right now. So the first seed might actually be... It's between Top Minds and at Here Scrim DM for first seed. So whoever wins that is going to wait in grand finals to play the winner. And whoever loses plays a Kakai there for the second and third.
Very nice. I mean, so far I think it's going to be a really fun finals and grands. It looks like it'll be kind of teams that we almost anticipated, maybe a little bit, just based on knowing some of these players and knowing what they're capable of. So that's really fun. I
mean, definitely kind of expected for this result, but... So right now, the set is still going. It is 2-1 for Top Minds. So they aren't just steamrolling for sure. So it could be a cool scenario where we have... I think they would actually tie for first if they lose this.
Very
so
cool.
they might have to do a head... they would lose the head-to-head anyway, so they would get second. So now that I've figured that out as I was talking, because I like to talk and think at the same time.
No, I understand that.
Commentary.
It's also hard when you're looking at this to kind of keep all of that straight in your head. So
yeah. Well, I
you
mean,
did a
I'm
good
just really bad at remembering things too, so, you know.
That's why we write things down.
Yeah. That's our notepad. We got a notepad and we got our map list with like mostly blank space that I could be drawing things on. I could draw something funny and make Melissa laugh here, but I'm not going to do it.
Hey, I'm fine with it. I think we have a couple minutes to kill. I don't know if we'd be able to get into that
Is
next
your
game.
Twitter Acid Sunshine?
Acid.
Uh-oh.
There's an H in there. Thank
you.
you.
Trevor.
And it does have 2 E's, but my Twitch handle only has 1. So that's, you know, a little, because the first one
So when
was
you go to her
taken.
Twitch,
Drop
remove
that
one of
second
those.
E.
Yeah, drop the second E.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Lovely.
All right, so
and we hear some screaming happening there, so that's really exciting.
somebody's happy about something out there.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Okay, so while we wait for this last match to happen, we are going to cut to a break. We'll keep you posted if this goes to a game 5, but yeah, just stick around for final bracket.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
It'll be fun. See you soon.